It's slime time.
I'm in my parents' house, our family home. My parents were really nice to let me film my movie here, and we kind of destroyed it. In the movie, these teenagers take over the main character's home and they throw this insane Halloween party. We actually let kids spray paint on the walls, which is insane. It's like I basically created my mom's worst nightmare in this house, but she's been so amazing about it and supportive about it. Look how fucked up this is.
It had to have been like 10 years ago now. Some friends of mine in Los Angeles made this anthology movie called VHS. They were gearing up to do a sequel to it, and they asked me if I was interested in making a segment for it. I had always wanted to do something that dealt with alien abductions or kids being like chased by aliens. That was kind of one of the first things that came to me as like a really scary experience.
We kind of pitched it around. Jay loves aliens, he loves underwater, so the aliens had to be some sort of underwater thing. And it had to involve kids and it had to involve death. So we thought, well, you know, what are things we did as kids? We had a lot of sleepovers. And we played a lot of pranks, we played a lot of movies.
The very first shot we shot for the short film, the garage door opens, the dog runs out to two kids in robot costumes, and it's really hard to see, but they're dangling hot dogs from their arms. And then after every take, the kids would like drop their arms and then my dog would go and eat the hot dogs. And so after like the first shot that we did, my dog had eaten 5 or 6 hot dogs, and then it was just like, he was done for the rest of the day. So we gutted out like an old elf doll and we turned it into a puppet. And so for the majority of the film, you're just seeing me like with this elf doll, like crawling on all fours, trying to replicate the movement of my dog.
VHS 2 short. How do we show brothers and sisters, sibling rivalry, just hitting it and like ramp it up, and then boom, aliens attack right when it couldn't get any worse, and then they have to work together to save themselves.
The way Kids versus Aliens has come about is the producers of the VHS films wanted to make a new VHS film, VHS 94. They asked me if I wanted to jump in, but I didn't have time. But I kind of threw out the idea, like, have you guys ever thought of like making a feature film based off of the short film that we did for VHS 2? And Brad Miska and Josh Goldblum like really loved that idea. They pitched it to Mark Ward of RLJE, and he said just always wanted to see like an R-rated kids movie. He greenlit it so fast, more than any other film project I've ever been involved in. Before I knew it, it was like, all right, let's get the script written, let's go into prep. Feels like it all kind of came together within like half a year. It's just, yeah, it feels like a whirlwind. Come on then! Growing up, John and I had always gotten our friends out like almost every weekend, any day that we weren't at school and we were out filming movies. We would just like pick up a camera, and then like sometimes it just didn't even make sense, or sometimes like what we filmed just wouldn't even get finished. We had an idea and we just got inspired in the moment and just like went out and shot something.
We used to do crazy stuff. We used to break into old buildings that were run down. We used to light fires on ski jumps. A lot of learning how to speak from the heart about your passion, about what you're doing to get out of trouble. Everything was crazy, and I think part of film it should be. You know, if you're shooting something and you're thinking, well, this is normal, anybody could shoot this, then well, you're not shooting something interesting. You need something in there that's just like, wow, we're wild, we're breaking the law, and we're very renegade growing up.
Where it's a movie that is very inspired by John and I's like childhood of like making movies. You know, we're literally coming back here to some of the same places, and we're doing what we did when we were kids. 20, 30 years later, we're going back to John's house, picking him up, and we're going to make a movie again. That's pretty awesome.
What are you looking at? Jesus, man, don't you realize we just killed somebody? It's the most amazing thing I've ever done in my life. It was hilarious.
Does this look futuristic? No, this is dark magic. This is like kind of old, ancient stones, prisons, melting people from a squid beak. That's not in your typical space sci-fi kind of TV show. No, this is serious business, and I'm actually very happy that it turned out to be that way. I feel like Gary is very naive, impulsive, but he's also very kind-hearted. He pretends to kind of hate Sam, but at the end of the movie, you'll learn that he actually just didn't want her to leave, and he got really scared, so he just did some stuff that wasn't too smart.
There's something weird going on around here. Jack he's kind of the smaller kid, more of a quiet kid. With the other characters, they swear and they say words like,
piss trap.
asshole,
Fuck you, family shit. Sucking and fucking.
I just want to get fucked up and do some fucked up shit. And Jack, he only swears once. I think he does that because he's a good kid.
Miles is just the complete opposite. He acts tough.
I'm gonna put this clown to sleep.
He kind of acts like he's all big and he swears all the time and he does that, but he's like just softy, you know, like on the inside. And he cares for them. If they ever got into a fight, he'd be the first one to throw a punch, I guess.
And then miss.
And then miss.
Beard poured all over him.
Yeah, exactly.
Good. Here we go. Ready?
And action!
We have to go back! You can't. There's fucking aliens up there.
Really, I think with like kids, I'm just casting for the person. Sometimes it gets hard to like even call them by their character names because it's like, I just feel that they bring so much of themselves into the characters. Like I'm always encouraging them to be bad, kind of. When I bring them onto set, it's like a license to just be bad and do things you normally shouldn't do. With kids, it's just fun because you just can get into the spirit of that. I just keep the cameras rolling the whole time when we're shooting, and we just try and create, you know, a really fun moment. You know, we'll do take after take, trying to like find that energy and get the kids inspired and, you know, just create an atmosphere for the kids to feel comfortable to bring ideas to it.
Here again, we do have sand here again. And we need to move off of this to be in 2 different spots today anyways, right?
Yes.
We're not hanging out down here all night. We're going to the lawn, we're going to the shed.
Yeah.
Like we don't have the luxury of...
I mean, we'll probably get 3 or 4 chances with Gary. You know, dragging him in water.
I never thought we'd get 3 or 4. He's going to come up to us and say, I got one in me, guys.
It's always a magical night. When you're working in the movies, do it because we love it, not because IATSE stands for I already tried something else. And it's warm. Balmy, what, 2 degrees right now? Celsius?
Oh, I think
Here we go. 3, 2, 1, background, action!
I'm super excited to kind of like see how cold it is. On one hand, I'm like, well, it'll probably not be that cold. It's just a lake, right? And then on the other side, it's like, it's 3 degrees out, and it's water.
She's like hearing your calls for help, like up in her bedroom. So the more you're just like screaming, help! Sam! Help!
Go on, right? This is how we're getting you out too.
I'm not even in the water yet, and I'm cold.
Here we go, and background, action!
No, the water, Stop! It's cold.
Let's do it. Here we go.
But not cold enough for Dominic.
You got one more in you?
Sit down, okay, bud? All right. No.
Having Matt Barkley on the movie has been awesome. He's young, he's got a strong back. Like he's a local kid. He's from St. Margaret's Bay, and run through there. And I wanted there to be like a, you know, this movie to have a youthful energy to it. You know, we didn't want any cranky old people working on this movie. That's for sure. When you watch Matt like on set, he is just thriving. It's like he turns into a kid when he's filming. You just see a big smile on his face, even in the most like stressful moments. I'll be like stressing out and I'll look at him. He's just like, man, isn't this awesome? And I'm like, oh, you're right, this is awesome. You know, I've been watching his work over the years, and his photography is like so beautiful. For years, I've been wanting to like work with him on something, and you know, thank God I got him, because he's making the movie look beautiful.
Fuck, you got me. Waving my hands around like an asshole. These are some of the boards that Jay and I put together. We didn't have access to a storyboard artist or anything, so we were trying to, as quickly as possible, create things that would put the rest of the crew in the same position that Jay and I were in terms of thinking about where things were going to go or where people were going to go. You know, what we wound up with is a lot of really hilarious, like, hybrid cartoon photo storyboards with all of our different crew members and friends in various roles. You know, we're drawing in our ladder because a ladder didn't exist. Like, yeah, Jay's using a tennis racket as a sword, and some of them are pretty true to the storyboards. Like some of the scenes we shot. This is Jay's drawing that he did with colored pencils in his sketchbook, and then this is the frame we shot. Kind of close. You just cover him in when he turns to that side, and then we'll walk him over here. Yeah.
They're pretty scary.
I had a warning when I first saw them. I kind of just walked onto set and my heart just like, what is that?
Like, once I realized that these things were scary was when I started running and one of them reached at me and I genuinely like went like that. Like I was like actually scared for a second. Yeah. Cause I was like, oh yeah.
You're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to do that. That's not the script.
Roll sound, guys. Rolling, rolling.
Follow me!
Like a movie.
It's a little uncomfortable. Feels like a wetsuit. I forget that I can't really use my hands. Like that.
No, I'm good. I brought some kind of workout and I didn't get for Ira.
You know, whenever I am making a movie, I love to have Dave Brent there.
That's old gorgeous.
He always has the best stories. He always has like the best perspective on something.
What really makes the great white shark tick is what I've been trying to put my finger on for 16 years. They're an efficient engine in nature, and they make little sharks, and sometimes they bite.
On Hobo the Shotgun, Dave was there like every day, like with me, like by the monitor. And so just to even get him for a few days to come out on this movie, you know, means a lot.
If you ain't prepared out there, you're dead. You ain't coming back in. Just because if something happens, that's it. It's the end of her. Me and you. And you gotta remember every time you go open one of them. Every time. take her and make sure you're ready. I think that's it for the read, I think.
Everyone ready?
It's where there's like these bullies in the movie. Our bully was the weather, it was Mother Nature. It was just like, well, the movie originally was going to take place in summer, and then it turned into the fall, and then we thought, oh, we'll embrace like the beautiful fall colors and the weather. And then we got like this record-breaking like weather movement of like weeks and weeks of rain. And just rain like non-stop, hammering us with like weather, and we like blew all our weather cover and still had to go out and shoot like in these storms and stuff. So it'll be interesting to see how it like shows up in the movie. One thing that'll be cool you'll see is like you can see like people's breath because it's so cold.
The weather this morning is absolute dog water. In a semi-literal sense, it is very, very wet outside. We came inside for lunch. Everyone was drenched. Sorry, he's just busy having his snack, his ketchup chips.
Yep. Very Canadian.
All right, we're rolling up the Lost World. Lost World is my favorite store in the whole world. Lost World is this local toy store in my hometown, Dartmouth, Nova Scotia. It's like walking into a toy box that's not organized at all. That place has been like a big inspiration for me. And Rick, who owns the place, is like so cool, and he knows about like everything.
As much as it sort of drives me nuts at points, the disorder for some people is a bit of a drawing factor because you get to dig and kind of find something interesting. Jason has definitely shown a lot of interest in some of the off-branded or bootleg figures. When he's looking for action figures, he's looking for something to essentially fit the specific thing that he's wants to use the figure for.
These guys here are alien figures from a Star Trek action figure line. I had my friend come over and help me paint them so that I could use them as models for when I was kind of figuring out shots for the movie. Action figures, when I was a kid, I wouldn't even know what their storyline was or what their backstory was, but I would make up my own. And some of the very first times I probably created stories and I created characters was through my action figures. So yeah, it's always in my mind when I'm designing a character. I think, oh, could this character be like a really cool action figure? So yeah, I would use this Duke figure and these aliens and then, you know, slash them around.
Yep. Is this hole for the beak big enough?
I want to make it bigger.
And I'm smaller than her. I mean, I'm taller than her, so
it's gonna have to come out.
The beak's gonna have to come out for the
We're going to have to use tungsten for the edge probably, because that's what we have that'll give us the harder hit.
Right.
And then that's what'll get really golden. That's what we can't change. But this orange, like what we're putting in from here, like it can go purple in a half second.
Right.
things like that.
I mean, maybe it's gonna look like this.
I think
it's gonna look
so.
like something like
I
this.
think so.
I know that Jay loves action figures. I know he loves He-Man especially, but I know he loves, in general, action figures. So when I'm writing on purpose, I think about these kind of things. I think, okay, how can we have elements that Jay's really gonna like so that he just likes the script? Every toy had a slime pit. Ghostbusters had a slime pit. He-Man had a slime pit. I bet you Transformers had a slime pit too, if you really look into it. Once the idea came out, it's like, let's do a slime pit. There's like, it's so awesome. It's so awesome to have a movie where you have your own like 80s slime pit where you just stick people in and just like dump slime on their head and mess them up. But that was just pure love for 80s toys. Jason came over when we were designing it. He brought his own slime pit over, which we really pulled a lot of reference from. We have a beak, and it slimes the kids and basically melts them down into bones, which helps power the ship, and then they get discarded and the next kid gets lined up onto the pit. It's all about just building a character out of these set pieces. It's not just a slime pit, there's a creature inside there. And same with the ship. So we kind of built the ship to look like the alien head. And then from there, we added some rock texture, sort of like an asteroid. And then we just started pulling apart the features, adding spikes, changing the proportions, shrinking the eyes, and kind of just giving it this more randomized asteroid look. Something that really embodied a scary creature that would, for me as a kid, kind of scare the crap out of me.
You got a slime problem, I can take care of it. I'm a slime janitor.
Yeah, the slime on the movie. That's been one of the most like challenging aspects of the film. We're doing like this low budget film and we're asking to like create this slime throne with a giant beak with all this slime that will come pouring out of it and melting someone. And like you write that, you know, as an idea thinking it's achievable, and then you like try to do it and it's just like all these like technical things that you have to work around to really pull it off. Slime would just get too thin and slime would get too thick. And it's just trying to find that like happy medium. Yeah, it was super tricky. What got intense a little bit too, because we only had 2 days to shoot inside the slime throne in the slime chamber. That set is being torn down like after those 2 days to get turned into another set. So there was just all this pressure on getting it right.
What you want to do is make sure you pour it evenly though. Like, you know, because it could still go down the center.
Oh, you're gonna want to pour it evenly. I've seen this 1,000 times. Well, I want to pour it evenly.
Yeah. And let's get her in and line it up, all the fucking shit.
We're dousing the actress like in slime, and there's only so many costumes that you can do resets on. And the reset on it is like over an hour. Do one, we'd dump it on her, and then we'd have to go move on and shoot other stuff, and then they would reset it, then we'd come back, let's try it again. First couple times it didn't work, and then finally it started to work, and it looked amazing. It looked so crazy.
Get slimed. Yeah.
So I'm painting this to match her face, the makeup that I've done with makeup department, but on this prosthetic because this is her face getting melted off.
We had to bring on another actor, Lily, to play Trish when her like face is getting melted, and so they had to do like a prosthetic like over her face, this like skullish prosthetic. And I think she sat in that prosthetic for like 6 or 8 hours before we even brought her to set, and she couldn't see through it because she has like these fake eyes like over her eyes. I think I asked someone, has anyone shown Lily like what this set looks like the nightmarish sort of world she's gonna be like walking into before she performs this thing? And there was just no time to do that. So she had no idea what she's walking into. We're bringing her out and they put her on the throne, and I could tell like she was nervous, and we were all just like checking in on her to like see if she's okay. And she's like, I'm all good, I'm ready for this. She was just getting herself like pumped up. And she made it look so scary and so crazy. It was unbelievable. And everyone on the crew was just like horrified, like watching it. People were just like, couldn't believe you were doing this to an actor. She was so into it, and like she was so stoked on it.
We okay?
I'm good.
Another girl.
It looked pretty crazy.
Shower and then makeup.
But it was weird, man. It was a weird couple days being in that slime chamber. You're there from like early morning to late at night. No chance to even step outside and see daylight. You forget that you're even on a set, and that it just feels like your life is like living in the slime chamber, and that's just life.
Jesus fucking Christ. Can't take you anywhere.
One of the first times I met Jason Johnson, he invited me over to his house, and he was like, hey, I got these like Barbie dolls that I buried in the backyard like 3 months ago. You want to go dig them up and see what they look like? I was like, hell yeah. You know, having Jason Johnson be able to create like the props and create, you know, the sword that, you know, Samantha finds in the movie. He is definitely like my secret weapon, and he's like, he's the treasure of Nova Scotia, if you ask me.
I grew up like not really having toys. We couldn't really afford it. So I had like a mishmash of different toys from many different lines. Dinosaurs fighting army men or knights, and throwing pirates in there, and World War II, and giant robots and stuff. A lot of the things that the kids make, their costumes, is also influenced by 80s toys. The Beast Warrior, like a little bit of an inspiration of the Terror Claws from He-Man. Definitely one big inspiration for the sword was from our friend Warduke. And I've thought a lot about that sword.
This sounds so ridiculous. I'm really into swords. I really like swords. I've been really into this style of comic book called Power Comics, which are these like DIY self-published comic books. And there was this one comic book called Jontar, where the character walks around with this sword that kind of fans out. That comic book was the inspiration for like how that like the blade looked on the sword.
I don't know, I went pretty heavy like thinking about the mythology of this thing, but I think it's like such a funny coincidence that the sword made its way to her. Like I kind of don't believe in coincidences like that. I felt like that was more fate, and that this demon warrior who had been defeated found a way to live on, and it's through the spirit of the sword.
Yeah, we should let this disperse a bit.
And Phoebe, I may give a cue for the army, and that'll be for the, you'll feel the light and then you turn.
It felt amazing. I loved holding the sword, and the way it was designed, it was longer at the beginning and they had to cut it down to fit my height. And so it was like made for me, and I felt so powerful holding it. It was just a really, really beautiful, beautiful prop.
I feel in a movie full of comic book characters, Sam's a real person, you know? Sam's having sort of a real life issue at home where she doesn't feel her parents are there enough for her, put too much responsibility. She makes real life choices. That's how I would describe her character, I guess. Just a real person who then needs to become a comic book character in the end. When the comic fantasy side of the movie clearly slaps the movie in the face and it's all fantasy, Samantha quickly rises and becomes that superhero fantasy character that she needs to succeed in the film.
She definitely goes through this journey of finding herself and realizing that to be truthful to herself will make her happier than doing things for other people. You know, it's great to put on this costume and feel like a superhero, and I got to do things, I got to do stunts that I never thought that I would be able to do, and playing a character that inherits that sort of confidence that comes with being an action hero is really special.
This was somewhere that Jay had loved this barn when he first moved out here. His parents when he was a kid. I remember him showing me this when we were like 20 and we were stuck through the woods and it was open. We just came in and looked around. He's like, I want to shoot in here someday so bad. And so here we are. I think it's probably 15 years later. Originally the ring was going to be outside because it was like the idea of having a wrestling ring in a clubhouse. Like, how would you do that? Because our DP was like, why don't you just put it on the inside? It's like, that is actually a fantastic idea. It's a really good idea. Take a look around. You got arcades. You got a spray paint couch. Every kid wants a spray paint couch. Mass, you got a little army zone over there. Lockers. This looks like a dream. I guess that's what movies should be. This looks like a kid's dream. Like, let's see. I might break my wrist, but let's just try it. How long can you wait till you put your hands up in front of you?
Today we were filming some nice, easy, relaxed wrestling. My finishing move is called Lazy Guy. He's really lazy, he can't come up with anything creative, so he just does this. Sits down. Very nice. And then
we're gonna get you tutoring, bud.
tune in next time for part 2.
Oh man, when you see Phoebe like in the ring, she just like lights up. It's like she was like meant to be in there. You know, she'd done all this training to like do a few wrestling moves and drop kick, and then when it comes time to shoot the actual moment, we have like 20 minutes to shoot it. We just get in there, we just keep it rolling, and she's just like slamming this guy around, and like it looks crazy and violent, and like probably got her to do like 10 drop kicks like within this like 20-minute span. And everyone was just like, whoa, like holy shit. Even the wrestlers who were training her were like super impressed. I'm trying to like just get a couple more wrestling moves in it, and the wrestler who was like training her, he was like, what if we do this scissor kick move thing where the wrestler like bounces off the rope, swings around your body, and then the wrestler ends up flipping out of it. It looks crazy. They did it like first take. Everyone on production, holy shit, like I can't believe that just happened. The AD came to me after. He was like, yeah, that was great, but we're not doing that one again.
Favorite day on set so far. Oh my God. Like, I didn't know that I could do that. Surprised myself, but I had a blast. It was really fun.
1 part water, 1 part Nesquik, 1 part corn syrup, and black food coloring. That makes alien blood.
2, 1, drop!
Too thick.
Really?
It's pretty thick.
I was shooting so much before. Fuck yeah! Straight away, right?
Okay, let's reset. Reset.
It's really stupid. It's not even funny in the slightest, but what do you call a cow that can't move? Immobile. No, come on, joke. Yeah, what's your joke? Come on, I need a joke. I need a joke.
Ready and action! And score!
Here we go.
the new dance. So if any of you have seen RoboCop, have seen RoboCop? Everybody? So do you remember when the Ed 209 fucking shoots that guy and that guy is standing there? He's just going like this. That's what you guys are gonna do.
So I was thinking like kind of like a raspy whispering.
Ooh, yeah.
So it gives this weird like atmosphere whenever they're on.
That's what I want. I want some sort of airy kind of sound coming out of the mouth. For sure, yeah.
I'd say like probably like a screech or something like that. Like it'd be like, I don't know, like it'd be like, yeah, something like that. That's a good example.
So I'm assuming they like groan at each other.
They don't have like a proper language that we can like
Well, maybe they
understand.
do. Maybe they have very subtle differences in how they groan and we just don't pick up on them because we're not familiar with their language.
Exactly.
That's true. Damn.
Here we go, ready, and action!
Yeah, hard to hear it.
There we go.
Let's go.
Is that the ivy?
Wow, that really resonates.
I've been going full method by bullying kids when they come off the bus, kicking them and stuff. So. Fuck him.
What do we think of Billy?
Billy? So, the actor is very, very nice.
He's so nice.
But Billy is just, he's like so mean. You hate him so much.
Self-absorbed. He almost killed my sister. He almost stabbed me in the face. He deserved what happened in the end.
He made a quiet kid who would never do anything wrong commit a felony and
Attempted murder?
Yeah, I attempted to murder him.
So that's nice.
Yeah, he's just, overall like 8 out of 10. He's a good guy.
Yeah.
He's a good guy. He's a bully.
4 out of 10. I hate him.
Yeah, he's incredibly extroverted and terrifying and incredibly fun to play. He does kind of get into that cute boy, likable character, boy next door sort of thing of like, oh, like, don't worry, like, I'm not like other guys, I'll treat you right. And in the end, he's just using whoever he has around him for whatever he wants to gain. I remember I was grabbing one of the kids' faces and telling him to watch his friend die, and you can't do anything, and I was fucking laughing. I was like, Jesus Christ, like, it's getting intense.
What Callum brought to this character, and he really shaped the character in a lot of ways. When I wrote it, Billy was that cold, mean guy, where Callum really brought that two-sided. He really saw him as the master manipulator. Once Callum came on board and kind of pitched these ideas, we went through and shaped it a little more to that idea of he's going to do little things, like subtly get on Samantha's good side that are clear manipulation. And it paid off really well.
Yeah, I'll fucking kill you, yeah.
I'll fucking kill you.
Or is it a...
Yeah,
or is
that's
it
last
I'm
one.
gonna fucking kill you?
I'm gonna, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fucking kill you! I'm gonna fucking kill you!
Action!
I'm gonna fucking kill you! I'm gonna fucking kill you! Fucking kill you! I'm gonna fucking kill you! Did you get it?
Reset. All right, guys, here we go.
100%. We've got Johnny hooked up. He's swimming in the air. He looks great. He looks like Superman. We're going to get some pictures of him. 2, 1, action.
So the Beast Aliens started kind of like the slime chamber. I want a big monster toy. It's like we have these aliens, but if you're looking at the toy shelf, like where's the big crazy monster thing? And it's like, well, somebody needs to turn into a beast alien.
Gotta get in mode now, beast mode. Beast mode.
Johnny like just becomes a character and he brings like this ferocious like energy to it. Pretty amazing to watch. I didn't have to like really tell him anything. He just like became this like beast alien character, and the energy behind it is just like way beyond what I imagined. I love it.
A lot of the stuff I do for bodybuilding helped out, just like with my posture and stuff and doing certain things, and then just being able to torque my body certain ways. Being athletic and, you know, mobile really helped out with this. Like literally, if I wasn't, I would have had a hard time for sure.
We're gonna do a shot of the beast alien running through this door and window. The idea is for him to explode through this thing, chasing after Billy, and it's my parents' door.
So hopefully I don't like, you know, trip on it, land on a piece of glass, impales me. First shot, watch. I just jinxed myself. Fuck. Good night. Good night. Love you. What?
Hi, alien.
Bye. I call her every time, every night. She's either gonna be scarred or just really brave, one of the two.
He's just like a big kid. Yeah. He has a lot of fun.
Jason's like the funnest director ever. Yeah. He's awesome.
Yeah. He like knows the right words to say to like understand what you have to do to be that character. And he like I feel like he has like a defined picture of what the character is. And also you can like go out of that character. You can add your own things to it, and it's fine with it.
There's been a lot of improv, which is fun. A lot of like, what do you want to say? Like, what do you think he would say in this situation?
Okay, let's reset.
I love how energetic the whole crew is. You know, Jason, I've found every single take, he's always yelling, and action.
Ready, and action! Action! Action!
He wants to get everybody so hyped up for the scene, you know. And it's so fun to like have somebody on your side that's like rooting for you every time and just trying to keep the energy up, because it's a very energetic movie. There's a lot of shit going on.
I admire his passion for this project. We would go on set and whatever impulses that we were feeling, he would encourage us to explore that. And I think that as a performer, it was really, really easy to work with him.
Yeah. Hey, officer Dallas, you want to break this kid's arm?
This guy loves movies. Like, this guy loves making shit.
And that is a wrap on another two of our heroes.
I'm super proud of what we've done and what the team has been able to do. I'm so lucky to be surrounded by an amazing team, and the crew has just been so awesome. They worked so hard on our like little low budget movie. They've made these big miracles like happen, and they've surprised me like so many times and brought my little drawings like to life. There's times I'm just standing there and I'm just like, I can't believe we're able to achieve what we're achieving. Big thank you to the crew for everything you guys have been doing, and our cast for giving me such awesome performances and like just bringing their all to it like every day. You know, I'm lucky to be able to get to do this, and I'm lucky that I'm getting a chance to like make another movie. I haven't had to like compromise anything. Kind of like when we made Hobo with a Shotgun. It felt like people had given kids like a bunch of money to just go out and make a crazy movie, and we just got to do what we want and be bad, and no one told us anything, you know, and that's what it's felt like making this movie as well too. Yeah, and that's hopefully what will make it special, and then who knows, maybe it'll be another 10 years before the next one, but hopefully it'll be the same kind of thing, that we'll just get to do what we want to do and, you know, bring the energy that we want to bring to it, and you know, hopefully it'll be another little crazy movie.
This, when you haven't watched the show yet, what are you doing? Go watch it. It's funny, it's fun, it's awesome. Go watch it, please. I beg you. Please, please, please.